This is a video that you guys have been asking for years. You want me to go back and you want me to review my predictions from the beginning of the season, see where I was very, very wrong, see where I was very, very right, and see how I just kind of did overall. I mean, in years past, I've picked the Mets to win the World Series. This is the first year I didn't, and by shocking surprise, I was actually right with that. Mets are not winning the World Series. They didn't make the playoffs. But there was a lot of other things that I got in there that were somewhat right, some bold predictions, and some really bad misses here, like the San Francisco Giants. But hey, that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to go through and review every single pick that I made for the 2021 World Series before the season actually started. And I think that's important, again, before the season started. I had to take into account that the Nationals still had their good players. The Cubs still had their good players. I wasn't necessarily accounting for trades too heavily, just based on what I saw on the field at the moment. Because when you see some of these, you're going to go, how did you think that team was going to finish there? Well, I didn't think that the Cubs were going to trade every single player. I knew it was a possibility, but what if they didn't? That's where preseason predictions get really hard. But regardless, going to look through them all, going to get a little embarrassed here by some of my picks. If you guys do enjoy this content, make sure to drop a like on it. It really does help support the channel, as well as subscribe so you don't miss out on any content. Get in the comments down below. Let me know who you think is currently going to win the World Series. The playoffs have started, and there have been some interesting series thus far. I don't know if my White Sox pick's really going to play out. Drop me a follow on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Titan. Titan is a premier investment firm for the everyday investor, and Titan aims to deliver the best investment experience in the world, and in a way that's accessible for all income levels. By using Titan, you'll get courtside seats to award-winning strategies on US-based, international, and crypto assets. And with no performance fees, no lockups, a low flat rate advisory fee, and record-shattering returns, Titan was ranked the #1 robo-advisor for returns in 2020 by US News. Titan has also built this great mobile app, and it's not an ETF or a mutual fund, because it allows them to explain to you what's happening and how they're managing your money. Titan's unique strategy has allowed them to outperform all major indexes and robo-advisors since inception. And right now, Titan manages over $600 million for 30,000 clients and counting. And all it takes is $100 to get started on your journey toward wealth and savvy investing with Titan. So get started today at titan.com/GiraffeNeckMarc and get your first 3 months of expert investment management for 0 fees. Again, get started investing today with Titan. Titan.com/GiraffeNeckMarc to get your first 3 months of expert investment management for 0 fees. Thank you to Titan for sponsoring today's video. All right, so normally, I would have a video going on behind me, live reacting, but my prediction video is 25 minutes long, and it's mostly just me talking about teams. So instead, I went through, got all my standings, got the projections of who I thought was going to go first to last, my Cy Young, my MVP, and my Rookie of the Year picks. Let's do it. So get it started in the American League East. And the American League East standings, according to me before the season started, were going to be the Yankees in first, Rays in second, Blue Jays in third, Red Sox fourth, Orioles fifth. That I was not correct about. Now, I was somewhat right here. I did predict that the Yankees and Rays would make the playoffs, and they did. I just didn't get their positioning correct, and that's a shame on me for not thinking the Rays were going to be the best team in this division. I don't know. I just thought the Yankees maybe were going to put it together, but again, shame on me. Rays are filthy. Rays are disgusting. We no longer ever for a second will doubt the Rays in anything, except I did that in my postseason predictions, but hey, it's a little different. Rays are still nasty. Blue Jays, I thought were going to do a little bit more. I mean, they were very close. They won close to 90 games? If not, they did win 90? Yeah, I mean, they won 91 games. Boston and New York won 92. I feel pretty good about this division, honestly. The fact that I basically, not that I couldn't have because the Orioles were guaranteed last, but it's not like the Blue Jays were really that far away from the Yankees or Boston. The big mess up here was the Rays in second. But overall for this division, not terrible. Maybe one of the easier divisions to get sort of right on though, because they had 4 really good teams and the Orioles stink. Guaranteed to get the Orioles right. Actually, looking back on it, that was the only team I got right in this division. Okay, maybe I didn't do well with this one. Moving on to the AL Central, for my predictions, I went White Sox in first, Twins in second. Oh boy, that feels terrible. Third place Indians, fourth place Tigers, fifth place Royals. Yes, so as we know, the Twins really underperformed this year. I mean, to a new level. I don't think anyone coming into this season thought the Twins were going to finish in 5th place in this division, what is the weakest division arguably in all of Major League Baseball, maybe outside the NL East. No one expected the Twins to go from a competitive playoff team to dead last in that division, and that's exactly what happened. Now, of course, they moved off some pieces. They made some trades as the season went on. That didn't help their play, but they vastly underperformed, and I can't imagine Rocco Baldelli comes back next year, but Twins fans, you should be happy. The trades you did put you in a good spot to kind of rebound quicker than expected. So for the Twins, while it was a complete failure of your season and miserable, I mean, it kind of was random. There's a world where the Twins do finish in second place in this division, and I still think, honestly, they might be that second best team in the division right now. We'll see. And even then, the Twins could be in second place, even first place again next year. I wouldn't be surprised with a few, good moves and good trades. So Twins, biggest miss here. Now, in fourth place, in real life, the Kansas City Royals. I had the Tigers, but hey, I had the Royals in fifth, and a lot of people gave me crap about that. The Royals were, a bad team. team. They just weren't very good. I don't know why there was so much hype about them. I know they signed a few good players in the offseason, but they're just not a competitive team just yet. Next year, though, grabbing Bobby Witt, who's going to have to make his debut at some point next year, maybe opening day. Some of the young prospects they have on the mound, Royals can definitely be better. Third place, the Tigers. I had the Tigers in fourth place, which I thought that they were a sneaky good team, and I was definitely right about that. The Tigers are on a path to power coming very, very soon. AJ Hinch at the helm with that young, talented core there. You got Torkelson and Riley Green on their way up with those young pitchers, Casey Meister, Screwball, Matt Manning, among other guys that are in that lineup and rotation. I know I just named a few, but this team is loaded for the future. They're going to be aggressive in the offseason. You saw AJ Hinch talk about that. This Tigers team for the future is going to be great. I really like to see that they finish in third. Second place, Indians. That's where I had the Twins. Again, like just kind of the Twins really screwed everything up considering they went from second to fifth in my eyes. But really, if you just put the Twins in second and move everyone else down, that's where I'm right. So that's my spin zone here. Indians second place. Good pitching as always, but they still can't hit. And then first place, Chicago White Sox. I think that was easy. Everybody knew that they were the best team in that division. It would have been a huge surprise if they weren't, despite their horrible play thus far in the ALDS. I mean, that's mostly on Tony La Russa's fault for not shifting, making some crazy defensive substitutions and pitch hitting options. The White Sox are still a very good team. Very good team. I don't know where this conversation or this narrative is that they're not good is coming from, but the Astros are just better. They're beating them. My World Series pick there and my latest predictions, not looking great. But that was my American League Central. Let's move on to the AL West. In the AL West, I did really well. I was really proud of how I did here. This is probably my best division, I think. Houston in first, Oakland in second, Seattle in third, Angels in fourth, Rangers in fifth. I thought I was like a hot take machine when I put Seattle in third, like competing for a second place spot. I had higher aspirations than most for this Mariners team. They completely exceeded those expectations, finishing in second place. That one was a huge surprise, I think, to everybody. The fact that they not only had 90 wins on the season, but finished ahead of Oakland, like that was a surprise. I know a lot of people preseason thought the Angels were going to do better, and while Trout being hurt definitely hurt them, still no pitching out in LA, and that is always going to be their downfall. They have no pitching, and it was again, which is why they finished in fourth, which I had them finishing in. Rangers in fifth, that one was obvious. Oakland, Seattle, you flip those two. I mean, like that was a very sane take by me, and I'm honestly okay with getting that one wrong because the Mariners had a freakishly good season. Still doesn't make sense to this day, but AL West, probably my best division right there, did pretty well. And then as for the postseason, the teams I had were the Yankees, Rays, Twins, White Sox, and Astros. I got almost every single team here. I just missed the Twins. Twins were not a playoff team. It would have been the Red Sox, of course. So 4 for 5 on postseason teams. I would count that as a win. Really, at the end of the day, it matters about the postseason teams that I pick, and I went 80%. I was a C student in college. I'll take an 80% all day. Now, for Rookie of the Year, I went bold. I went Jared Kelenic, a guy who wasn't starting the year on the Major League roster, a guy that has big prospect aspirations, big hopes. Didn't really play that well this year. He got a lot of playing time in Seattle, had a bit of a down season for sure. The numbers just weren't what you expect in this first season. We saw that with a lot of prospects, especially on the hitting side coming up this year. There's still that gap that needs to be bridged from AAA to Major League Baseball for a lot of these dudes. And because of the 2020 season, where there was no minor league baseball, it seems like that was kind of the differentiating factor between guys having a good and great year. So yes, Kelenic didn't play well, but I fully expect him to be completely fine in 2022. And I'm kind of okay with that Rookie of the Year pick. Like, I thought that was a good, bold one. Is it going to be who wins Rookie of the Year? Absolutely not. Probably a Randy or Rosarena, but Jared Kelenic, that was a fun pick. I'm cool with that one. See, Mariners, even though I didn't pick you in second, I showed you some love. Rookie of the Year, Jared Kelenic. And then Cy Young, Lucas Giolito. That one didn't come through either. Yeah, the predictions for the awards were tough, but I also don't like to go boring. I don't like to go chalk. I think Randy Rosarena was the favorite for Rookie of the Year going into the season. I love Randy. I didn't want to pick him. And then Cy Young, I think the favorite was probably Garrett Cole. Yeah, I could have picked Garrett Cole, who has a very good chance to win the Cy Young. I like Giolito. Giolito was really good the year before. He's been good in the past. He's been showing improvement. While he did struggle a little bit this year, the deeper you dive into these numbers, Lucas Giolito actually should have been better. But hey, got that one wrong. No shocker here. And then MVP, I said Aaron Judge, and that ended up being a pretty good prediction. I mean, if it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani, Vlad Guerrero Jr., even Marcus Semien having just unbelievable years, Aaron Judge was really good this year. I mean, we're talking 39 homers, 98 RBIs, 287 average, 373 on base, 544 slugging, 916 OPS, 149 OPS plus. I mean, Aaron Judge did some great things this year offensively, had an MVP type season. There was just players better than him, but that was a pretty good prediction. Incorrect, of course. And then as for my American League representative in the World Series, it was the Chicago White Sox, which I still like that pick to this day. I can rationalize it in my head. They're a very good team. They were like top 5 in almost every major offensive and pitching category this year, so they were very good. I know they play in a weak division, and people are going to tell me they can't beat good teams. They're 27-29 against teams over 500. Like, that's really not that bad. We're acting as if they actually couldn't beat them, like they were the Orioles, who were 30-78. Look at the Braves. They had a sub 500 record against teams over 500. You look at the Brewers, 32-36. The Cardinals, 32-36. It's just kind of going to happen. It just happens sometimes to playoff teams. I thought the White Sox were better than they played and shown in the postseason thus far. Tony La Russa also doesn't really help them, and that became evident in the ALDS with a lot of his managerial decisions, especially not shifting. Moving on to the National League now. Let's start off in the National League East, of course, the New York Mets division. And a lot of you want to give me crap right off the rip and say, oh, the Mets stink, they blew it, blah, blah. Like, oh, the Mets did stink this year. There's no doubt. We were in first place for like over 100 days and then finished with a below 500 record, something that's never happened before. So historic season for the Mets in terms of lol Mets stuff. I mean, every corner, I thought it was going to be better. I really did. But I did not predict the Mets to win this division. I actually got the division winner right, and that was the Atlanta Braves. I had the Braves in first, Mets in second, Nats in third, Phillies in fourth, Marlins in fifth. Nats in third looks pretty terrible now, but that's also because they traded anyone who wasn't named Juan Soto, essentially. Trey Turner, Max Scherzer, gone. I mean, two huge pieces. Steven Strasburg out for the season. Patrick Corbin stinks. The bullpen got rid of everybody. Got rid of Yan Gomes, got rid of Josh Harrison. They got rid of Schwarber. They got rid of everybody. I feel like people are going to forget that this team going into the season wasn't as bad as it looks now. Hindsight's 2020. If I had known that they were going to trade every single one of those guys and not be a competitive team, yeah, of course the Nats are not better than the Phillies. Barely better than the Marlins. But at the time making this video, it made sense to me. On paper, I thought the Phillies were a fourth place team. I still don't think the Phillies have a better team on paper than the Mets, but as it shows, paper doesn't matter. Zach Wheeler's been incredible for the Phillies. Real Muto's still strong. Harper MVP season. Getting good production out of guys like Andrew McCutchen's also huge. He played a good part in this season. Rhys Hoskins still playing well. Gene Segura played very strong baseball. The bullpen still stinks, and the starting pitching outside of Wheeler is like, okay, Ranger's good. Nola's iffy. The rest of it, sketchy, and the bullpen still stinks. Like, there was a good reason to put the Phillies in fourth. Did they prove me wrong? Oh, 1,000%. The Mets really killed me this year with my predictions, but I don't think the Phillies are the second strongest team in this division. I stand by that, but of course, games get played. Phillies were better. That's what happened. They beat the Mets. They deserve to be in second place. They were better than them this year. But yeah, Braves, Mets, Nats, Phillies, Marlins, and of course it went Braves, Phillies, Mets, Marlins, Nats. Okay, yeah. Wow, Marlins finished in fourth. Nats really finished in last. They stunk. Goodness. Okay, for the NL Central, we had the Brewers in first, Cardinals in second, Cubs in third, Reds in fourth, Pirates in fifth, and I did pretty well in this division. Again, keep in mind, before trades, before trade rumors, what roster I see at the start of the season. While the Cubs had no pitching, they still had, in my eyes, what could be a better offense than the Reds with Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, Wilson Contreras, Ian Happ, who was good. They had Jock too. Like, they had some good pieces. And of course, they then traded them, and that's when they really started to stink. But weren't they in first place even at one point this year? Like, they did play good baseball. The Reds, of course, got hot too. And in my video, if you go back and look, I even say, like, such a hard time picking the Reds because I could have them in fourth is where I put them. I could also see them in second because they are that good. And I was pretty close. They finished in third. I had them in fourth. Cubs in fourth. I had them in third. Brewers and Cardinals, spot on with Brewers in first, Cardinals in second, and Pirates in last. I mean, this division was pretty straightforward. The big thing really was the Cubs and the Reds. That was the biggest decision maker there, but otherwise very straightforward. And then for the final division, we got the National League West. We had the Dodgers in first, Padres in second, which we'll talk about, Giants in third, Rockies fourth, D-backs fifth. So yeah, big elephant in the room here. Obviously, the Giants were the best team in baseball this year. Best record, finished in first place in the National League West. Telling you right now, Giants fans, I'm giving you credit. You guys deserved it. You played the hell out of the season. You deserve to be first in the NL West. But there is not a single one of you who can rationally say that this was the expectation before the season started. You could have thought you might have been a playoff team, a wild card team. That's fine. I'll accept that. But if you thought you were going to be the best record in Major League Baseball, win the National League West, you're just lying. You had no reason to actually believe these kind of things. Playoff team, sure. Best team in Major League Baseball, there was no reason. That being said, congratulations to the Giants because my goodness did they have just one of the most fascinating seasons this year. Platoons, pitchers having breakout seasons. I mean, guys having renaissances to their career. Buster Posey, Brandon Crawford, Brandon Belt, Evan Longoria, just to name a few guys who looked like they were maybe kind of crumpling, kind of getting old, and they just completely shut those rumors down. And then they had guys fill in. Austin Slater, Darren Ruff, Lamont Wade, Donovan Solano, Mike Yastrzemski. I mean, these guys, they just put together a really, really good Major League Baseball roster, along with the pitching with Gausman, Logan Webb, Tony Disco. I'm forgetting a few. I can't even remember because their team is very, very deep. And the bullpen was surprisingly good despite not having great stuff out there. Like Jake McGee throws fastballs at 93. Tyler Rogers throws submarine at like 84. Like, the stuff isn't fascinating in the Giants bullpen, but they perform very well. That's why they're the best team in the National League West. Dodgers, I had them first. They finished in second. I mean, one win behind the Giants. They won, 106 games. I was pretty spot on with them being in first place. It's not like I was too far off. The really bad miss here is the Padres. 79-83. I mean, they were the Mets of the West. No one expected this Padres team to be this bad. They kind of got caught with their pants down when they thought they were getting Max Scherzer at the deadline, and then they didn't. And then they kind of just didn't do anything. Their big move was getting Adam Frazier, and go back to my video where they traded for him. I told you this move did not matter. It didn't move the needle, and what do you know? Adam Frazier performed like crap. So Padres fans who are mad at me, go back to that video, apologize, because I was so spot on with that. I know, my predictions for the most part are pretty much wrong all the time. I know that that's what you guys are going to say, and I acknowledge that. Making season predictions at the start of the season is way harder than you guys think. I think if any of you guys went out there and put out your predictions to the world, you'd get a few that would be like, oh, you're an idiot. You're wrong. But on a case-by-case basis, I think I did pretty well with my predictions overall. Playoff teams, I had Braves, Brewers, Dodgers, Padres, Mets. I had 3 of the 5. I didn't have the Giants, and I didn't have the Cardinals. It just so happened that the Padres and Mets kind of both did the same thing and collapsed in the second half, which like no one should have seen coming really, especially with the rosters that they had out there. Also really hurt the Mets that Jacob deGrom got hurt. The Padres had a lot of pitching injuries. There's reasons as to why those teams collapsed, for sure. But I got them wrong. I'm gonna admit that 100%. Was not perfect. That being said, there was a lot that I did get right here, specifically the good teams. I just missed out on kind of the surprises of the season. I missed out on the Red Sox making the playoffs. I don't think a lot of people expected that. I missed out on the Giants making the playoffs. I don't think a lot of people expected that, especially with how good they were. And then the Cardinals, it literally took the last 2 weeks of the season for them to get into the playoffs. They were, what, 2 games above 500 before their 17-game winning streak? Like, the Cardinals were a average team all year long until they went on that hot stretch. So I'm cool with my predictions. I feel great with how I did so far. Rookie of the year, I went Brian Hayes. He missed a lot of time, didn't really even play that well when he came back, still dealing with that injury. Tough on the Pirates. He's not going to win it. Cy Young, I went with Jacob deGrom. Of course, before the injury, Jacob deGrom was the clear and obvious Cy Young favorite candidate. He was so good, he was possibly going to even win the MVP, so I feel good about that one. That was the only one I went boring with, where I'm picking the obvious favorite, and that's Jacob deGrom. And then for the MVP, I went Christian Yelich. In my MVP video with like great odds, I talked about Bryce Harper being a really, really good pick and talked about it on Twitter, but I ended up going with Yelich because I did think Yelich was going to bounce back more. I don't know if the injury stuff's still bothering him. I don't really know what's going on there, but he still shouldn't be this bad. I stand by that. Christian Yelich should not be playing as bad as he has. MVP pick, I thought was a fair decision considering the 2 years prior, outside of 2020, he was an MVP. And then for my World Series pick in the National League, it was the Dodgers going up against the White Sox, and I had the Dodgers winning. We don't know if that's true yet. We don't know what's going to happen. They did advance onto the NLDS to face the Giants, which is going to be an awesome series to watch. I know I'm going to be watching every inning of it. Overall, though, for my predictions, I think I did pretty well. I mean, more so in the National League than the American League, but still, again, I got, what, 70% of the playoff teams right, and the 3 that I missed were kind of surprises. Not gonna lie. I'd love to know how you guys think I did down in the comment section below. Tell me if you thought I did bad, if I did poorly, if I did better than you expected, worse than you expected. I'd love to know what you think. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content. Follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description, as well as big shout out to Titan for sponsoring today's video. You guys know the drill from here on out. Thank you guys for watching. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.